I first moved to Dubai, I thought I had a pretty good idea of what to expect. I had done what I thought was enough research, I talked to people who had already made the move and heard a lot of stories of people seeking employment here. But once I started living here, there were quite a few things that really hit me.
Stupid.
I'm gonna break down the key things I wish I had known before moving to Dubai, considering that I'm a regular folk and not a wealthy guy or business owner. If you're thinking of relocating here, whether for work or lifestyle, then these are the things you definitely need to know. One of the biggest surprises when moving to Dubai is the cost of living. Yes, there's no income tax and that's certainly a huge benefit, but don't let that be your main deciding factor. It can potentially be expensive if you don't set a budget at the start and you lose track of your expenses. Rent is likely going to be your biggest expense. Depending on where you choose to live, prices can vary significantly. If you're looking at apartments in prime locations, then be prepared to pay a lot more. Personally, my partner and I are currently staying in JVC. It's not the most central location, but we feel that it has everything that we would need. There's a good mix of supermarkets, restaurants, cafes, and there's even a cinema, although it's been years since I last went to one.
Okay.
Keep in mind that landlords here mostly require you to send checks for the entire year at the start of your rental, although there are exceptions. Also, did I mention that prices tend to increase every year? And then there are additional costs like water and electricity, which are especially high during the summer months. The bills can go up quite a fair bit when you're running the AC the whole time you're at home, and trust me, you'll need it in the summer. And personally, Wi-Fi at home is expensive compared to in Japan or Singapore. Groceries can be expensive if you're buying imported products. Local markets and stores do offer more affordable options, but if you're after specific brands or international products, then expect to pay a premium. Dining out is popular in Dubai because of the huge variety of international cuisine, but it's not always budget friendly. A meal at a mid-range restaurant can cost between 50 to 100 dirhams per person, and I'm not even talking about fine dining. Public transport is affordable, but if you end up taking taxis or driving your own car, expect to pay more. I'll dive deeper into transportation later, but trust me, these costs add up.
Roger that.
In short, while not having income tax is awesome, don't underestimate how quickly other costs can pile up, especially rent, utilities, and transportation. It's important to calculate how much of your salary will be left after considering all your expenses before deciding whether you want to move or not. Let's talk about jobs. Dubai's economy is booming and the job market here is definitely diverse, with opportunities in industries ranging from hospitality to finance to tech. But getting a job can be tricky, especially if you're not already in the country. Competition for jobs can be cutthroat, especially for mid to senior level positions. Many come to Dubai looking for opportunities, and while there are jobs, it's not as easy as just sending out a few applications and getting hired.
Roger that.
Some say that it's actually easier to find a job if you're already in the country. Employers prefer to hire those who are available immediately and already have residency visa sorted. Expect the hiring process to take time. It's not uncommon for it to take several weeks or months from the initial application to actually getting a response. For this, I say patience is key. Networking can also go a long way. Personal connections often matter more than simply applying online, so attending industry events or working on your LinkedIn connections even before coming can help you a little bit. When it comes to salaries, they tend to be competitive, but you should always negotiate or at least ask about your package. Salaries are often quoted without housing allowances or other benefits,
So make sure you clarify what's included.
Some employers will offer benefits like housing allowances, health insurance, and even transportation allowances, which can make a huge difference. One thing that definitely surprised me about living in Dubai is how similar yet different getting around is compared to Singapore or Japan. Dubai's metro system is very clean and efficient. The trains are driverless, air-conditioned, and they run mostly on time. For major areas like the airport and downtown, it's incredibly convenient. That said, one downside is that the metro doesn't cover the entire city. If you live outside the main urban areas or work in a business park or industrial zone, it can be tricky to rely on the metro for daily commutes. For comparison, this is what the map of the metro system in Tokyo looks like. Here's what Singapore's looks like. And then there's Dubai's metro. Is it fair to compare these three cities like this?
Yes! Yes!
I think it is, as at the end of the day, us without cars appreciate the convenience of extensive and efficient public transport systems. With that said, Dubai also has an extensive bus network that complements the metro. Buses and trams go into areas the metro doesn't reach, and they're pretty affordable and well maintained. But they can be slow, and I really mean slow, especially during rush hours. On days that you wake up on the wrong side of bed, waits for buses can reach anytime between 30 minutes to an hour.
Oh my god!
To use public transport, it's wise to get a Knoll card similar to the EasyLink in Singapore or Suica cards in Japan. It's easy to top up and it works for the metro, buses, trams, and even some water taxis. But of course, if all else fails, there are taxis which are everywhere in Dubai, and ride-hailing apps like Careem or Uber are very popular. While they're still not as expensive as taxis in Japan, they can be pricey for daily use. What ultimately happens is that many expats end up driving. It's convenient, but traffic can be hectic and parking in popular areas can be a challenge. Plus, additional costs like maintenance and parking can add up. And did I mention fines? Oh, and speaking of driving costs, you know what won't cost you anything? Liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Seriously, it's absolutely free, unlike rent in Dubai. Moving on. Culture shock is something that catches a lot of expats off guard when they move to Dubai, even if they think they're prepared. Dubai is quite liberal compared to some neighboring countries, but it's still important to be respectful of local customs. For example, while you'll see people wearing shorts and tank tops in touristy areas, modest dress is expected in places like government buildings or mosques. It's not as strict as you might expect, but just be aware of where you are. Even though Arabic is the official language, English is widely spoken, especially in business and tourist areas. However, understanding a few Arabic phrases can go a long way in your daily interactions and in building relationships. Some jobs also require you to speak Arabic or one other European language. Dubai is a Muslim majority city, so you'll experience certain religious practices like the call to prayer or fasting during Ramadan. Non-Muslims are not expected to participate in these practices, of course, but it's important to be mindful, especially during religious events. For example, during Ramadan, it's respectful to avoid eating or drinking in public during the day. When it comes to building a social life, that could be another challenge. Making friends here isn't always easy, especially if you're working remotely or don't have a big social circle from work. It's a transient city, so people are constantly coming and going. My tip? You can try joining local groups, whether that's expat communities, language exchanges, or hobby clubs. Social media groups can help too. For me, walks in the park at 2 supermarkets and even drinking in bars help me a little bit. Basically, you'll need to put in the effort to build these connections, but once you do, you can find a great community here. To wrap things up, let's talk about some of the best, and I hate to say it, the worst parts of living in Dubai. The lifestyle here is incredible if you have the money. You have access to amazing restaurants, stunning beaches, luxury malls, and world-class entertainment options. If you're into concerts and nightlife, you might get lucky when your favorite artists come to perform. Dubai is also incredibly safe with one of the lowest crime rates in the world. But then again,
low crime doesn't mean no crime.
I would say the worst part of living here is the summer heat, which can be intense. Temperatures in the summer regularly exceed 40 degrees Celsius. That's 104 degrees for you all Americans. And it can make outdoor activities nearly impossible. Plus, the transient nature of Dubai can make it hard to form long-lasting relationships as many expats come and go. So those are some of the things I wish I had known before moving to Dubai. It's an incredible city with so much to offer, but it's not without its challenges. Whether it's navigating the cost of living, figuring out the job market, or adjusting to the transportation system, being prepared makes all the difference. Living in Dubai has also given me a fresh perspective on food, but it also makes me miss the flavors of home. If you want to see how I rank Singapore food that I miss very much, then check out my video where I rank all of the must-try food from Singapore.
Who the hell cares?
See you in the next one.